All right. Hey, everyone. How are you today? Okay, look, if you looked at the description today, I am asking you if you ever feel like you've exhausted all of your options when it comes to your business or maybe even other things in life. So, we're going to have a great conversation today. Let me get us started. If those of you that are new to me, I'm Shayla Boyd-Gill, your Family Freedom Affluence Mentor, and I'm really excited to chat with you and then also just share a little bit of my story with you so that if you are on the edge, I want to give you one more piece to consider before you consider things like quitting. Okay, so I see that in life. Okay, that's working perfectly. So here's the deal. As an entrepreneur, you go through some stuff. Replace that with whatever word you want to replace it with. But there are definitely peaks and valleys, there are highs and lows. And there can be some things that you experience that feel like you've exhausted everything. Maybe you've tried to launch something, maybe you tried to gain a certain number of clients, maybe you tried to meet a goal financially, maybe you just tried to leave your 9 to 5, but you have done some things and you're feeling like you've exhausted all of your options. I want to tell you a little story today. And I'm going to bring this back around so that it makes sense for you and your business. But I'm going to give you some insight. And just to be super, super transparent, I actually went over this conversation with myself earlier today, but I had to prepare myself to be ready for the conversation. That was the essential piece. So now I'm ready for the conversation and I want to see how we can do. And hopefully this helps you in your mindset and getting ready for just acknowledging who you are. For those of you that are here with me live, please be sure to share this with other people and let me know that you're here because we're going to speak honestly about what it takes to be an entrepreneur, just to make moves, just to make significant moves in your business and in your life. So for those of you that have not been following me, some people are new, some people are not. What I will tell you is one of the things I've been super transparent about is the journey of my health journey of releasing excess weight. And it's been something that I've said publicly, I've shared it with my list, I've shared it with my clients, I've shared it here on Facebook, and it's a little confronting and a little daunting too, because you've seen me like, oh my God, I did it. And then you've seen me come back and be like, oh my God, I put all the weight back on. And then you see me again, oh my God, I did it. And so there are times that I felt like I've exhausted every option that I have had. So one of the things that I've been doing this year, and literally when I say this year, we're talking only a month and change, and this has been since July 1st. I had to go and hire someone to help me with my health. And someone more of a health coach that's with movement and things of that nature. So every day I get up and my number one priority is taking care of me. And that means going at least 5 days a week, showing up for 30-minute high intensity training, small group training. I do it because I'm competitive. That's why I chose small group, because, if I get people in a room that are doing their thing, I'm going to do my thing. That's how I move in business too. So what's happened is I'm getting stronger, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So today I went in and I'm like, okay, I'm on. I walked in. I was like, I'm in it. And this is every day. I get there. I say, I'm in it. I can do this. But halfway through our rotation, the mind starts messing with you. Okay. I call it being mind effed, if you ever heard of that. Okay. But the mind starts messing with you. And I'm feeling like, oh, snap. I have exhausted everything that I have within. There's no way that I can keep going. And we still have 15 more minutes because, of course, I'm checking the clock. So I'm always checking. And I get through the first half of the rotations. Getting to the second part, it was simple. Here's the key. It looked simple. I had to do 4 different exercises. 2 of them, I found myself getting ultra, like super, super frustrated. Like I just cannot do this anymore. So one of them was just simple, jumping rope for 1 minute. The other was using a plank station and putting my feet on slides and bringing my knees in while in the plank, back and forth, simple. So I'm like, I've jumped rope before. I did this when I was younger. Keyword, when I was younger, right? I've done this. I've worked this magic before. I should be able to do this. Just to be confronted with, my feet and my mind and my arms and this rope are not aligning. So I kept trying and I kept stumbling over the rope. And then I would try again and I would stumble. Then I got a little rhythm and I was like, yeah, I got this. And then I stumbled again. And I found myself by the second rotation being super frustrated and ready to throw the rope down because I kept stumbling. I couldn't find my rhythm. And it was something as simple as a rope that triggered me to say, I think I've exhausted everything that I can do in this particular station. But the key is I couldn't quit because my motto is I don't quit. And that's the thing that I teach my clients. But I had to pull from something a little deeper than, oh, I'm just not going to quit, because literally I couldn't get my footing. I couldn't keep the momentum. I could not, for whatever reason, get the rhythm. And I had to keep saying, just move your feet. And literally it got to the point where I said, the rope's going to go to the side. I'm going to move my feet as if I was holding the rope, because then my feet are still moving and I can get the rhythm. And then I can bring the rope back in, whatever it takes, right? There were people beside me that were frustrated and they threw the rope down and just stood. And I was like, you're not willing to stand low. Just move your feet. You got to move your feet. And then when holding myself in the plank with the slides, I was like, this is too much weight. I cannot hold all of this up. I'm like, I can do a plank, but now you want me to move my feet in the plank and do the slides and do the knees. And I was frustrated because then I looked at, you almost go into that pity party of, look at what you've done to yourself. You used to be able to do these things. Oh my goodness, you have so far to go. And so I'm telling myself, you have so far to go. Your goal, transparency, the goal is 100 pounds. Okay. So I was like, you have so far to go to release this 100 pounds. Oh my God, how are we going to do this? And I just couldn't get my feet to slide in. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, now you have an option. You can lay down, you can sit down, or you can at least just hold yourself up, just be accountable to you. And that's what I really had to pull from and do. And it was a challenge. It almost took me out, but I want to share what kept me in the game. And we're going to put this into perspective for you and your business in just a minute. I had to pull on my bigger why. And I've talked about the big why before. It wasn't just, I want to release 100 pounds, because that why clearly is not big enough. I've done the releasing before. The number alone is not going to hold me to the standard that I need to be. But the bigger why has to be more, for me, a fulfilled life, to be able to do more of the things that I desire to do, have a full life with my family, and not be selfish and leave them with a mom that they have to take care of because she refused to take care of herself. Not be selfish and leave my husband with a wife that refused to take care of herself. And now they're stuck taking care of me because I didn't do the work I needed to do. That was my why. And I had to really pull from that. I'm like, and if you're going to do the things you say you want to do in your business, you're going to need energy. You're going to need to be able to make those moves. So that's where I had to pull from. And I just had to tell myself, we're not quitting. Today is not the day. You're not quitting. This is just one more day that you're ticking off on your calendar to say that you showed up fully and you did the best that you could. And that's what you have to do in your business. So when I was doing this, I also thought about you as an entrepreneur. How many times have you found yourself in a situation where you feel like you've exhausted everything that you have? You can't find the rhythm of getting the consistency in your revenue. You don't move your feet. And I'm using the words that I use for myself today. You're not moving your feet, meaning you're not going out and talking to the people, putting yourself in front of the people that you need to be in front of because you feel overwhelmed. These are the things that stop you as an entrepreneur. One of the things you have to have as an entrepreneur is tenacity. You have to be willing to push and stretch. You have to stretch beyond what's comfortable and what your mind tells you that you can do. And this is where I say you get mind effed. You can fill in the F because your mind is going to keep you as comfortable as possible. Your mind is going to tell you, we've done it. You've done enough. you can't do anymore. You can't possibly do this. It's not working. You should just give it up. You have to have something in place that's going to keep you from giving up. And it has to be something bigger. Again, bigger than that number, bigger than, oh, I just want to be seen as this thing. It has to be a huge reason why you won't quit. So I use the analogy of you got to move your feet. You got to find the rhythm and you got to do it until you get it. That may mean having someone supporting you until you get the rhythm. So my support is my health coach at the place that I go to. When he sees that I'm in a place where I can't find the rhythm today, when I was like, I can't get the rhythm, we decided, put the rope down, find the freaking rhythm, jump as if. You start wherever you have to start. That's where you start, but you don't stop. And that's what I had to identify for myself today. And you have to identify that for yourself too. So when you're saying, oh, this isn't working, I can't do it, you need to ask yourself some questions. Number one, how have I shown up? Am I holding myself accountable to this? Like when I talked about holding that plank and moving the slides, are you holding yourself up? So many people look to other people to hold them accountable. You may say, and you may have heard yourself saying, oh, I need you to hold me accountable to doing this thing. But are you holding yourself up? Are you holding yourself accountable? Because no one can hold you accountable and push you and move you to do what you need to do unless you're willing to do it for yourself first. So you can be supported. This is where I tell people I guide you, I support you. You can be supported or you can be guided, but you have to be willing to hold yourself up and do the work. It's not my job to hold your hand and say, you can do it. I may tell you, hey, you can do a great job. I'm proud of you, but you have to show up and hold yourself up. That's the first step. And then you have to get your footing, find your rhythm. And the way that you find your rhythm is through the guidance. First, you try it on your own. Then you realize, oh, it's not working. I might need a modification. Be okay with the modification. Get someone to show you the proper modification. This is what my coach did for me until you can really get your rhythm going good and you can do it on your own. That's what support looks like. But that's what it also looks like to not quit, where I say, don't quit yet. Because that point where you feel like you've exhausted all of your options, that's your stretch. That's your reach. And usually that's where you're about to make that turn to get to the other side of, I actually do have a rhythm. I actually do have this thing. This thing actually is working. And I think we put these artificial limits on ourselves. If you do it one time and it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But in reality, you may have to do things time and time and time again until you get it right. So that transparency of me saying, I've done this weight release over and over and over and over and over again, I can count like probably two hands over and over and over and over and over again. People that know me, they're like, here we go again. But you might have to do that over and over and over and over again until you get it just right. But for me to say it doesn't work, it won't work, I can never do it, it's the easy and comfortable way out because it just feels better. You've given yourself a powerful excuse that now you can feel a little bit good about and you won't beat yourself up so much. But I'm going to challenge you to not run to the excuse. I want to challenge you to move a little bit more strategically. I want to challenge you to get into that stretch zone. I don't know why I'm calling it stretch, but whatever. But I want to challenge you to get into that stretch zone and stay in there. Be willing to expand and contract just a little bit. See what it feels like. It's not going to be comfortable. If anyone's selling it to you as comfortable, run the other way. I've never taught my clients that their growth will be comfortable. But if you can get through that stretch, it's powerful. It's powerful. I was just speaking with a client yesterday. One of the goals that we had in our inner circle with our 12 weeks, one of her goals was dealing with cleaning up some tax things. And it was a stretch because the money was real. And we had to really look, we had some side conversations and we looked at how far are you willing to stretch to clean this up? Because we know once this is clean, everything else that she needed was going to be taken care of. And yesterday she contacted me and said, She did one thing that she should have done months ago, and it instantly took care of everything. She didn't have to struggle with this problem, but because she didn't open her mouth and ask for help, she was struggling with it for months, and it impacted some requests that she was making from other people. But as soon as she decided, I'm going to ask to be supported in this, the money was there. She cleaned everything up. Now she can make massive moves. Are you willing to stretch? Are you willing to reach out for support? Are you willing to show up and hold yourself up? Are you willing to find your own rhythm until you get it right? Just move your feet, make the moves that are necessary. This is something that I work with my clients in doing. When we do our private intensives, meaning if you do a VIP day with me, or if you consider being a part of the Freedom Income Accelerator program, it's all about stretching. You don't come to me just to smile and feel good. You come to me to stretch. That's why we call it an accelerator. It's fast and intensive. It's stretching. It won't hurt, but you have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to move your feet. You have to hold yourself up. You have to be willing to stretch. So if this is something that you're looking for, you have an existing business, you have paying clients, but you know this should have been your year of 6 figures. This should have been the year that you had consistent monthly income. This should have been the year that you had the dream client that you've been looking for, but you've not held yourself up. Maybe you've not found the rhythm. Maybe you've not done what you said you were going to do because you feel it's too hard. Then I want you to consider having a conversation with me. Now, let me clean this up for you just a little bit. You only can have the conversation with me if you're willing to stretch. If you're willing to be held to the standard that not only you set for yourself, but you promise to other people. That's when you can come and apply with me. And I'm going to put my application in here. You can go to coachwithshayla.com. And what we really work on is what your programming is that you offer, what your price points look like. What does your profit mapping need to look like? What are your growth plans? How can we get you to grow at an accelerated rate? How can we get you from 4-figure months to 5-figure months? It's not impossible, but it takes you showing up. And if this is the thing that you're looking for, I'm encouraging you now, take a look at the application. Go to coachwithshayla.com, apply. And if you qualify, I will personally be reaching out to you. Now, if you don't fully complete the application, please, by all means, don't be mad if I don't reach out to you, because it's a stretch. And my time is only permitted to those that are willing to stretch. So someone had tried to apply the other day and she said, I don't have a website. If you don't have a website, put non-applicable, but answer the other questions. Those are important. I need to know where you are, where you're starting, and if we're a good fit. And if we're not a good fit, what I need to refer you to. But this is the thing that's going to need to happen so that you don't quit, so that you don't give up. I need you to pay attention to this. So if this speaks to you, please go to coachwithshayla.com. If you know any other family-centered women entrepreneurs that may need to hear this message today about not quitting because it seems like you've exhausted your options, please do me a favor and share this video with them. And I look forward to chatting with you all later. Bye-bye.